Andrew Holloway, Partick Thistle Football Club Board Director, as nominated by the Jags Foundation. Thank you for joining me today in this latest interview for the benefit of Jags supporters. As with our interview with Alistair Creevy last week, it makes sense to start with you telling supporters a little bit about yourself, both as a Thistle fan and from a career perspective, please.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. And Alistair's put the pressure on by performing so well last week. So I'm Andrew Holloway. I've been going to games since 1996. I believe my first game was a 1-0 loss against Kilmarnock. That was obviously a difficult season. We went down at Tannadice, but for some reason I was hooked. First season after that, I don't know why, the players I remember, people like Gareth Evans, David Moss, not particularly legends of the club, but people I just remember from the start. I remember going to Airdrie and the first player I ever remember being a villain was Brian McPhee. It's funny the things that you pick up. So yeah. I've been going since. For many years home and away, maybe dropped off a wee bit, sort of maybe the last 5 years just with little people arriving, but the last couple of years have been right back into it. It's my dad who got me into it, and he's there every single week, come rain or shine. My sister goes as well. My kids come along with me, so you may have seen Evie and Ruby kicking around on match day home and away as well. And yeah, I tend to sit in the John Lambie stand and get away from home as much as I possibly can as well. In terms of career background, I'm a chartered accountant and a chartered tax advisor. I worked with Grant Thornton, that's where I qualified. I then moved on to Scotland's largest independent accountancy firm, and I was there for 5 years leading a couple of their specialist teams on the tax side. And recently I've joined a London-based advisory firm called Cooper Parry, where I'm a partner in their tax team. I do a bit of travelling, so I'm in London every other week, and yeah, it's good fun.
Happy days, thanks for that, Andrew. So 3 generations of Holloways watching Thistle at the moment. That must have been a proud moment, I guess, when the Jags Foundation nominated you to join the board. At the same time, obviously, as Douglas McRae was appointed as a fellow director just last month. Yeah. Can you talk us through the kind of road to that appointment, please?
Yeah, short story.
In 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So people may or maybe were aware of the Jags Foundation. I joined the board of the foundation in May 2022 as part of a group who got together to try and move ourselves forward in terms of that fan ownership journey. It's fair to say it's been a fairly busy year for the foundation. We've worked really closely with a fantastic group of people who have done great things. At one point in that journey, Sandy Fife, the TGF chair, and I signed an NDA to help us sort of build confidence and trust and get a little bit closer to the football club and what's going on. We worked with the board, the interim board at that point, went through a fair bit. That was really interesting. It helped us understand what was going on at the football club and what had been left behind. We then moved pretty quickly after the playoff games. So the playoff games were fantastic. Atmosphere, support behind the team. I don't think I've, even in going for as long as I have, I've seen anything like it. I think the 2 away games in particular at Queen's Park and Ayr were absolutely phenomenal. Sadly I didn't make Ross County. I was in Spain, more on that I think shortly. But it shortened our pre-season, but it also meant that certain agreed comms and things we've been talking about with the club board for a while that came out the week after had to come out at that point. We, obviously the foundation, put out some comments on the position the club found itself in. They weren't easy comments to put out. The foundation believe in honesty with supporters, building trust and building respect with supporters. That's what we stand for. After that, after a few discussions here and there, it was agreed that perhaps the foundation would like to have a representation on the club board. You know, we were starting to make a fairly significant financial commitment, £50,000 up front, a minimum of £10,000 a month going through. It's £170,000 for the season. It's a lot of money that we've gathered from fans. It was agreed we might want to do that. At the same time, we as a foundation board met to discuss that, and it was agreed that I would be put forward. That all took place while I was on holiday in Spain with my young family, and you can maybe imagine how popular I was as some of the poolside conversations went on and on and on. But we got there. I think it's a proud moment for the foundation. It's a proud moment for me and wider family. And it's something I'm excited about, building that relationship, that close working relationship between the foundation, who represent now over 1,500 supporters, and Partick Thistle Football Club more widely.
Fantastic. And as you say, a short off-season, pre-season, whatever you want to call it, a lot has happened since you were appointed, both with your club hat on and also with the Jags Foundation. That relationship seems to be strengthened by the day. 1,500 members, under 16 memberships for the first time. Alistair Creevy described the relationship as essential. I guess that's exactly how you'll see it.
We've always seen it that way. Those of us who have been involved for a little bit longer than they have always seen it that way, and it is so refreshing to see it come to fruition. Some of the things that have happened over the last week to 10 days, Chris Doolan joining the foundation, Brian Graham joining the foundation, launching our under 16 members with Robbie becoming our first honorary member. Huge uptake from the fan base, with some of the kids along at women's training last week getting to take part and enjoy that while meeting Brian and other people as well. It's exciting. It's what we always envisaged it might be. We felt that a foundation, an independent foundation of fans contributing, be it finance, be it time, be it enthusiasm, be it their skills towards the club relationship, would always be beneficial for both the foundation and its members, but also most importantly the football club and the community that we seek to be part of, Jags for Good, Charitable Trust, etc., etc. I found the last 10 days quite overwhelming in a really positive way, and I actually said to the foundation board, having a chat at one point of the weekend, I just said to people, look, let's just reflect on how far we've come here, and I think everyone who's been part of that journey, be it foundation members, wider support, and the current club board, I think we'll feel pretty proud of where we've got to, but I've said this before, the hard work really starts now.
Yeah, absolutely. Which takes us to, the focus for you as the Jags Foundation nominated director and supporting the board. What's that look like so far in terms of your focus and supporting the board, and what does that look like going into next season?
So baptism of fire, I would say. Understood some aspects of the operation of a football club. It's interesting just to see how it operates on a day-to-day basis, particularly during the closed season where things are busy. You're looking at season tickets, on which the uptake has been fantastic. Perhaps just tying back to that, another area where the club working together with the foundation and everyone, driving that social media content, driving that positive message, I think has really, really helped. We've done it with the women's team season tickets, which are available as well, and I think that's just great. Role on the board, I do have a finance background, so it's keeping things in close check there and making sure that the commitments we're making are the right ones and will lead to the delivery of a legacy football club that can be here for future generations, my kids, their kids, etc. Listening to what's going on, listening to what plans are, and then hopefully adding in that layer of, we've got 1,500 plus people here, we've got a far bigger, wider support here. What can others bring to the simple stuff, the volunteer shout, pressing that message out, come along and help your football club. There are other events planned where I'm just delighted the foundation will be involved in supporting the football club, but at the same time that the foundation will continue to hold the football club board to account. And it's important that the foundation have an independent voice of the board. I will be that go-between between the club board and the foundation, listening, absorbing, perhaps just supporting a positive, fruitful, forward-looking relationship. And we'll be at Kelty tomorrow night. I think all of us on the board are keen to be seen, to be available to supporters, to be talking, to be honest, to be open, to be transparent, to treat people like adults, because I think that's absolutely fundamental for future, games before, as I mentioned, the playoffs journey, even indeed the 18 games, or even going back before that, the games that Chris was in charge, and you just saw that community coming together, the support coming together, and we all want the same thing. We want a successful, thriving football club, which is delivered and which is being honest and open to fans and has a sound underlying base that it operates upon.
I think we've all got right behind that main objective, Andrew. You may have already answered this actually quite a number of times, so you might have to pick one answer, but sure. With so many positive developments over the past month, what has brought you the most satisfaction?
we always dreamed, I think, as a foundation, that we would be in step with the football club, and that the football club would be honest with the most important people, the people who come, who provide money via sponsorship, via match day tickets, coming to the Aitken Suite before the game, supporting hospitality, donating by the Jags Foundation, committing to good causes, Jags for Good Charitable Trust. I think we always dreamed that we'd always be in step. And I think, not revisiting backstories, it's a forward-looking exercise now, but that wasn't the case in the last 12 to 18 months. So I think that the most satisfying thing for me is seeing certainly people focused and excited to be working with each other, and everyone aligned. I love that. I think it's so important to the future operation and future success of Partick Thistle.
Which is a perfect segue into my penultimate question to ask you, looking at the season ahead and even longer term, what does a successful Partick Thistle Football Club look like to you?
A successful Partick Thistle Football Club is a Premier League football club, in my mind, in time. We have to put building blocks in place to get there. I'm excited as to what the season can offer us. I think, we've got a super manager, we've got the core of a really, really good squad from last season. We've got some fantastic to have Aidan Fitzpatrick signing up and budding some of the younger players will come to the fore this year, and I think that's important. Fans aligned to football club, and that doesn't need to be through the foundation. It can be through, just coming along, supporting, bringing a friend, just getting somebody else into it, getting involved in some of the initiatives and some of the events that we're looking to support. And I think a successful football club is a happy football club. Chris Doolan talks a lot about people being happy and pleased to be here, and excited to be a Partick Thistle, and that's what it's all about for me. A place that, for me personally, I can come with my dad, I can come with my sister, I can come with my friends, I can come with my children, and everyone can enjoy it for different reasons, but for what it is, it's Partick Thistle Football Club.
Well said, well said. And finally, if you were to offer one message to the Thistle fans today as the Jags Foundation nominated director on the Thistle board, what would that be?
We're in for a really interesting, exciting season. Back us, stick with us, support the team. The team need it. We've got, go home games start middle of July. Come along, bring a friend if you can. Purchase a season ticket. Support the ladies team as well. Support her game too. Support the charitable trust. Support Jags for Good in any way you can. Bring yourself along and enjoy it and stay positive, and hopefully we'll be on a really positive journey this season.
Outstanding. Thank you very much, Andrew, for joining me today, and we'll hopefully keep in touch through the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Brian.